I'm a Muslim man and I'm quitting NoFap in 2025. And before you think that means I'm going to start promoting watching haram videos, of course not. That's haram. But what I mean is I'm simply done with this NoFap community. Yes, NoFap has many benefits. It tells you to abstain from watching haram videos, abstaining from touching yourself, but ultimately there's no goal. And being on NoFap actually makes it much easier to relapse. I mean, just think about it. Telling yourself mentally that you're on NoFap and you're on day 10 or day 15 makes it seem like every single waking moment of the day is a moment of resistance. You're spending so much time telling yourself that you're abstaining from something instead of working towards a worthy goal. And I'm going to get to this goal in a second. And this is the worthy goal that every single Muslim man should be working towards, inshallah, in this life. And it can be a means of seriously taking you further closer to Jannah. But before I even get into that, let me clarify why I'm no longer going to be on NoFap and no longer supporting NoFap. This community is simply full of people that are just obsessing over the concept of not releasing. And although in theory this seems nice, think about obsessing over something every single day, every single week, month to month, year to year. Of course, your life is going to revolve around that. If I tell you to not think of a pink elephant, now you're going to obviously think of a pink elephant. And the harder that you try to not think of that pink elephant, the more that you're going to only think of that pink elephant. So what do you think happens when you just tell yourself, oh, just don't look, don't do this, don't do that? I'm not saying you shouldn't lower your gaze. Of course you should. But when you don't have actual meaningful tasks that you occupy your day with, and you just tell yourself you're going to resist all day long, all you do is you end up thinking and obsessing over women and haram videos even more. You all know those YouTubers that make videos like day 100 on NoFap, day 150 on NoFap, right? And then at the end of it, you see a video a week later saying, I just relapsed. What do you think is going to happen when you think about NoFap all day long? And this is why focusing on abstaining from watching haram videos, just focusing on being NoFap is not a worthy goal. It's just you abstaining from something. But where are you actually headed? Marriage is actually a much stronger and worthy goal to be focusing your resources on. And what's the point of even being on NoFap and abstaining and saving yourself if you're not actually working towards marriage? NoFap is nice, but ultimately you're just misconstruing the purpose of this life. Of course, our main purpose as Muslim men is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, but marriage is a very important part of your life in this dunya. You get to pair bond and have a woman in your life or women. You have kids, you become a father, you become a husband. All of these are very important things on your self improvement journey. And these natural desires that we have, these needs for intimacy, for pleasure, these are not bad desires. Many of the times, NoFap will tell you that you have to be on retention, as in just never release in your entire life. Bro, Allah made you this way for a reason. You were designed to want to release. You were designed for intimacy, for companionship, for love and belongingness. These emotions themselves are not a bad thing, especially when you put it in a halal outlet like a spouse. But a screen of pixels, bro, I mean, think about it. Many of us got into watching haram videos and relapsing and just touching yourself because you were bored. It was a form of escapism. Just think about when this issue and problem stemmed in your life. You were probably young, early teens. You're bored. You're home alone. You don't have any friends. You don't have anything to do in life. You have no purpose. So the only thing you can imagine is watching videos that you shouldn't be watching, looking at things you shouldn't be looking to fill that empty void in your life. Instead of actually filling it with people or getting married and halal, you fill it with this. Now, of course, it'll still get you off, but it won't get you fulfilled. Because imagine how you feel at the end. You feel disgusting, you feel worthless, you feel shame. You just somehow make ghusl and then just pray 2 rakat. But then eventually you get into the cycle where you're just doing sin, ghusl, toba, sin, ghusl, toba, sin, ghusl, and more toba. What's the point in this? And I'm not saying you shouldn't repent. Of course, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that if mankind didn't sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have destroyed us and replaced us with the people that do sin just so that we can repent and understand the mercy of Allah. So of course, we have to make tawbah to Allah. I'm not saying you shouldn't. But don't you think just repeatedly sinning, just repeatedly disobeying Allah, time and time again, matter of fact, going into the sin with the intention of repenting, that's lessening the whole point of you and your self-development? And I'm going to make a video soon about haram relationships, and it's a must watch for all of you guys watching. But haram relationships happen because we as human beings have a natural need for love, for companionship, for intimacy. These are not bad things in terms of the emotions themselves. It's when you put it into a haram avenue that it becomes problematic in your life and your hereafter. And because it's so deeply hardwired into our minds, into our subconscious, it's not easy to overcome. And this is exactly why I help brothers one on one, just like you, overcome this addiction once and for all. Because if you don't fix this now, it'll only get worse over time. It'll stop you from maximizing your potential, getting married, working on your business, really growing as a Muslim man. And many times it actually takes you farther from Allah. There's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that one who commits zina, there's like a cloud over you that just robs you of your iman. And it isn't until you stop committing zina that that cloud leaves you and then you finally get your iman back, subhanAllah. And no believer is a believer when they're committing adultery. Now, of course, this is not zina, but it's still an impermissible means of you releasing yourself. If this happens in your sleep, bro, this is not in your control. You're not at fault for this. Obviously, just wake up, make ghusl, start your day. But the only permissible means of sexual intimacy and enjoyment are your wives in this dunya. And obviously what your right hand possesses, but that's not something most of you have to worry about. And I also help you build the solid blueprint before marriage too, the right mental game, because if you don't have the fundamentals down pat, marriage won't solve it. Marriage is just going to give you an outlet, but only if your actual problem is just lack of intimacy. But what do you think happens when you're not going to be with your wife? What do you think happens when you're traveling, when you're by yourself? You're going to go back to that. So book a free call with me to discover if I can help you and we can work together one-on-one to finally overcome this issue. Link down below in the description box. Inshallah, I'll see you on the other side. Don't let shaitan make you a victim anymore. And finally stop making excuses before it's 2025. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, guys, so we're not going to wait till January 1st. Start now, inshallah. I can't wait to start making the rest of your life the best of your life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.